G'day guys. Okay, you want to see my crafty space? This is my crafty space. This is my wall. This is my desk. I have given it a little bit of a tidy up. This end usually ends up a nightmare, but I will take you through everything. I'll just give you a quick look to start with. This is, excuse my lighting. These are my layouts. I swap them out every so often. This is how I have them hanging, just with a couple of bulldog clips and a couple of tiny nails on my wall. It's all right, it's my house, so I can do that. And this is where I generally do my scrapping. And there's the cameras all up there. That's my setup up the top there. It's connected to the wall with my laptop. Now, okay, so I'm going to show you a little bit of maybe the stuff that you might be interested in. So this is my tray that I work out of. Sorry, I'm just going to try and maybe zoom it in a bit. That might be better. Okay, so this is my trays. So this tray here holds all my essential scrapping tools. All these sort of bits and pieces. Pencils, multi-purpose tool, all that sort of thing. So that's what I keep in my top tray. It's just all the little bits. You literally see most of them in every single video. And that's where I keep those. Now, underneath it, there is another tray that's exactly the same size. These are the trays that I make myself. And this one I use if I open some ephemera or I do some fussy cutting and I need to put it somewhere. That's the tray that I use. And I just store him straight underneath that little fella. Then, now, I'll see if I can, there's my drink, sorry about that. Okay, so here, I'm using a tripod to try and help me so it stays stable. So this is one of my trays. This is the one I use for my ink. Now, I cut up a silicone mat and that's what I put in the top bit. I've also glued one on the bottom so it grips, and it grips onto my ink, and it allows me to use it one-handed. So it's brilliant. So if you ever want to make one like that, super simple. There's a video online for that on my channel. What else have I got? Now, these are my trays. You don't see these normally. I'm going to scooch over a little bit. Now, these are not my actual idea. I got this idea from, I've probably supersized it, but I got it from an English lady. Her name's Sam Calcott. I think that's how you pronounce her name. She creates all sorts. She actually does cards, but there was one video about 3 years ago that I saw, and she was making a box, and I saw it and I thought, you know what, that would be awesome. So what I've done, I'll try and remove some bits. Maybe that would make it easier for you to see. So see how I've created little pockets? So they're all different. So each row is a little bit different. Some hold a small amount, so you can hold your pens upright. Some are a little bit bigger. Right here at the back, that's like one giant gap, I suppose you'd call it. So that's what I keep my pens in. Now this big one, and then I have the one on this side. Let's hope this is, I'm hoping by having it on the tripod, it's not too shaky. So this one over here is where I keep the things I reach for, probably not as much, like my little anti-static pad. Really cool idea. Put a bulldog clip on it. If you're like me and you don't like the chalky feeling on your fingers, great idea. Saw that somewhere and I love it. So this one here has different sized gaps in it as well. And yeah, I just made it all out of the 2mm chipboard. That's it. This is how I store my These are my oxide brushes, so they've got an O on the back of them. It's actually just a ring binder thingy. And that's how I store those. So I made this exactly the same way as I made all the others, and they're rock solid. They're really good. They're going to last a very, very long time. Why did I make all my own? I'll tell you why. Because I'm fussy. And everybody's space is different. Everybody's storage solution needs to be suited to themselves. So I figure if I create my own, then it'll suit what I need. Now, I'm just zooming you down. This is where my laptop sits, and it's on top of the best laptop stand, and it is from Amazon. It is awesome. Amazon AU I got that from. And underneath, this is where I hide my bits and pieces that I don't use all the time, but I like to have them nice and close, but out of the way. So that's where I put those. Then I have my camera set up. Is that messing with your head? You can see my hand, but you can see my hand. So I have a camera up there, which is obviously on. I'm obviously videoing, and there's it's a TV, but it's my monitor. So I can see what's going on to make sure that I'm fully in the picture when I'm videoing. So that's how I do that. Now, this is probably more what you're interested in, maybe. So hang on, I do have to rewind a little bit. Okay, so I've had a few people say to me, what kind of desk do you have? Check it out. This is what I scrap on. See, when you're on YouTube, everyone thinks you've got anything and everything, and it's all at the end of your fingertips, and you've got an amazing desk, you've got everything. Mine is a plastic $49.99 Bunnings plastic table. That's all it is. So, and all I've done is I've put some, what's it called? It says wallpaper, but it's not wallpaper. It's just a giant piece of contact, really. And it's got a wood look to it. And over a year, I've worn it down big time, but still works a treat, and I love it. So that is my dirty little secret. I actually work on a plastic table. Now, let's have a look around here. Now, I'm going to sit you this way first. Okay, so all my solution, all my storage, I'm going to just show you through here. So this is where I keep all my glues, adhesives, adhesive sprays. I keep my clear gesso up here. I don't know why, but I do. I have my art glitter glue, my backup. That's where I keep that. These boxes, I have literally made these boxes for anything and everything. That's chalk. To be honest, I haven't used that in years. I did use it on one layout last year, but these things are ancient. Like, I've had these for years. They still work a treat. Why buy new stuff when your other stuff still works? This is where I keep the nemesis of every craft room, the glitter. It sits in this little drawer and it doesn't go anywhere. It just stays there, and that's how I do that. Now, this is where I store all my punches. So I have all my punches in drawers like this, and I don't have a ridiculous amount of punches. I have all the creative memory ones, like the main, circles, hearts, stars, that sort of thing. So that works. This is where I keep my alcohol markers, and my alcohol ink. I don't use it as much as I possibly could, but it's what I do. Down here is where I keep my brads and bits and pieces. I'll just move you around this way a bit. So this is where I keep my brads, and there's some leftover bits that I don't really want to throw out yet because I might still use. Down here is where I store all my photos. I print all my photos in sheets like this, and then I cut them down when I'm ready to scrap them. And down here is where I keep, okay, that's my rubbish bin. Isn't it delightful? And my foot. This is where I keep my trimmers. So this is my rotary trimmer. I have my 2 heat guns. I have my 12-inch trimmer, Creative Memories personal trimmer, and this is my 12-inch scoreboard. And I do have a 6-inch one underneath that, but to be honest, I always pull out the 12-inch. Just find it easy to use. What else have I got in here? So this is where I keep all my Xyron stuff. If you do not know what a Xyron is, you need to learn. They are amazing. They're brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. This is where I keep all my my tape back up, so I can continue to scrap away. That's my tapes. Maybe this tray will interest you. This little old tray is full. Can you see it? Let's have a look and see if we can get you on a better angle. That would be better. So in this one, this is where I have all my sprinkly bits, my dewdrops, my sugar plum mix. If Cass watches this, she'll know where I got that from. That was from Crazy Craft Obsessions. I don't know if they're doing them anymore. I don't know. Maybe they will. I love the little sprinkly bits. I never used to be much for the sprinkly things, but the older I've gotten, the more I love them. And these are the glass beads. And this is where I keep these. So I have all different sized little jars. And to be honest, I buy most of these things. These ones I bought them, it was on Amazon, but it says Kaiser Craft on the packet. So yeah, so that's where I get all of these little bits and pieces. That's where they come from. That's from Paper Rose Studios. It's the Fairy Stars. So, and these are the little trays that I use. These are a game changer. They come as 3, a set of 3. They were like $2.99, but you tip your beads into them and you can pick them up. Oh, makes it so much easier to get them back in the container. It's awesome. So that is that section. What else do I have? This tray, this one is just not real exciting. It's just my texture paste, my transparent matte gel, molding paste, transfer gel, which I bought the wrong one, so I'm trying to figure out something I can use that for. I bought it thinking I would use it, and guess what? Haven't used it because it's not what I wanted. Texture gesso. Wow, this stuff is super gritty. Super gritty. I don't use it very often because it's pretty gross. It feels horrible when you run your hands over it. Okay, what else can I show you? This is where I keep all my stamp bits and pieces and my spray bottles, my Distress Oxides, my Distress Daubers, my re-inky Versamark things. Keep all those in there. This is where I keep my black and my... These two are my favourite. I did buy this one. It is the biggest stamp pad ever. Like legit. Look at the size difference. It's crazy. It's pretty good though. Especially when you're doing a big stamp. It's pretty good. So that is that one. Stays on. Yes, I have Stays on brown and black and they stink. So I try not to use them whenever I can avoid it. What else have I got? Oh, this is my... I'm going to have a play with this week. It's a cheaper brand of the foam stamp that I saw on a Simon Hurley video. What else have I got? Okay, speed it up a little bit. We're going to be here forever. Right, this is where I store my Distress Oxides. They're up the top. I made that one up yesterday because I had an overflow situation. So I make all these myself. Again, just with the 2mm chipboard. If you have a look in there, you'll be able to see how I do it. Actually, have a look in this one because it's empty. See? Super duper simple. And on this one, I ended up using the art glitter glue because I was getting high with the solvent glue, and it was so much better. I know it's deer glue, but you know what? It's amazing. Then I have up the top here, see this little tray, and I put a little tray on top. So that's where I store those. Then what do I have down here? So then I come down a shelf. So if I step back a little bit, trip over my chair, that'll be funny. I have got, so they're just cubes. These are not from IKEA or anything. These are just cubes that my kids used to have in their rooms that they didn't want anymore. So I repurposed them. This one's up the right way on its feet. This one is tipped upside down and works a treat. My husband took the feet off and it's perfect. So I made these little drawers for my washi tape. They are normally nice and neat and tidy, but guess what? I've been having too much fun scrapping, so I didn't worry about it. What I have done in here is I have cut I ended up using your cling wrap roll because it was sturdier. So I cut it in half and it just makes the perfect little spot to keep your washi tape like that. Perfect. So that's what I did in those, and I made the little stand. See that it's so much better, and it keeps your washi in line when you put them back properly. So that's what they are, and I made the little stand to go with it, and it's perfect. This is where I store my border punches. This is where I store my We Are Memory Keepers eyelets, all different coloured ones. This one is where I keep my liquid pearls, keep them there, my coloured watercolour pencils and the distressed crayons. I've just got them sitting there for the moment because they're quite new and I'm reaching for them a lot. This is where my distressed inks are. So they're all in here, they're in drawers. Because I bought the minis, because I wasn't sure if I was going to use the inks very much, I bought the minis first and figured I would upgrade if I need be, but I ended up upgrading and buying all of the Distress Oxides because I feel that I use them a lot more. So I'm glad I only got the minis in the inks. What do I have down here? This is where I have my Stickles gel collection. They're all in there, and the squeezy bottles. If you want to know my two favourites, these ones, Diamond and Crystal. They are awesome. I absolutely love them. Used them so much, they're nearly dead. Have to buy some more. I have my embossing folders back there. This is my embossing ink. So, embossing ink. It's not embossing ink. That's over there. This is the embossing powder. Sorry, I was looking at two things. So this is the embossing powder, and I've also put my flocking in here as well because I didn't really know where else to put it. And I have backup little sponges for my inks and my giant tub of large, ultra thick embossing powder. Now, I'm going to sit on the chair so I don't shake. I hope I'm not shaking this too much. This tray here is full of my backup everything. Now, someone was asking the other day about pens. Maybe it might be Shirley, I'm not sure, but somebody was asking about my Uniball Signo pen. Now, if you buy them in this box of 3, for some reason, these work so much better and I've had 0 failures. When I buy them individually and people have been playing with them in Officeworks, trust me, buy them like this. They're like $11 something, unless they've gone up a tiny bit, but it is the best. This is where I keep my spare blades, my spare rotary cutters, all that sort of thing. My spare little glue sticks, blue tack. Blue tack. My kids were after blue tack the other day. I have to let them know that's where it is. Or not. This is where I keep my strips. So these are my, what do you call it? Foam strips. that I buy them in bulk because they take a while to arrive. So that's where I store my backup ones, and this is where I put them when I'm actually using them. So once I've started using them, they go in this tray. I used to use this tray here, but it's too shallow, so I made another one. So it's a little bit deeper. That way all my dots and squares and whatnot don't fall out. So, and that just sits up in front of my monitor / TV. Then we've got down here, this is really just all my 6x6 paper pads. All down in here, just lots of different bits and pieces. There's the Echo Park one I was looking for. That's all right. Then I have, if I move this out of the way, because this is just me being lazy. I'm like every other crafter. I'd rather be crafting than cleaning. This is my stamps. So this is where I keep all my stamps. They are in a plastic doohickey. This is what I buy. This is the ones I use. This is, hang on one second. I got 5 things and 2 hands. That's not going to work, is it? Okay, so let me sit you there for a second. So this is the brand I use. I get them from Amazon AU. They are plastic sleeves. Then I just cut up cheap white cardstock, slip it inside, and I put my stamps on it. So I just usually use a piece of double-sided tape and put the stamps inside. And I always put them, got the shakes this morning for some reason. 2023 started off shaky. Come on, we're allowed to have a dad joke. Why not? And that's how they go, just like that. And then I just pop them back in here, and it's super simple. This is where I keep all my stamps. So I can just flick through them like this, and I know exactly what's in where. This one, I have got the dies. Remember I said my investment? This is it. So I keep my stamps on one side and my dies on the other side, just because I think that makes the most sense. So that's how I do that. And I don't have that many stamps, like it's literally just those. But, you know, you never know what 2023 will bring. It'll probably bring some more stamps into my life. Okay, over this side, so I've shown you where the washi is and whatnot. This is where I store my mica powders and my gum arabic. That's where I store those. I have all my enamel dots in here and my little bits of bling, stick-on blings. I keep those in that drawer. So everything has its own size drawer according to what I prefer to store in it. So all of these little drawers and cubbies are all different sizes. Okay, so like this one, it has a lot of space in it because, you know, I sort of figured I might buy a lot more shimmers or more creamies or whatever. So that's what I store in here, these guys. If I can get it to focus. Maybe, maybe not. So this is where I store them. Again, I made a little shelf just to utilize the space a little bit better. And I have a shelf that I made here as well to keep that up. In here is where I keep my rub-ons and my letters, my Tim Holtz words, which I used to use a lot more than I do now. My rub-ons, just all the different, you know, everyone's words that they, you know, the thickers and the different words and stuff that you buy. These have kicked my butt. I'll be honest with you. This set, wow, that kicked my butt bad. It's not me at all. It is way too glittery, way too gold, but I'm not throwing it out because one day I'll challenge myself to use it. This one on this side is just stickers. They're these little tiny, you know, all the little teeny tiny stickers that you get. Things like, here you go, that sort of thing. Totally not my scrapbooking style at all. Why did I buy them? Nobody knows. Okay, down here you have, these are all my thickers, all my ABCs, 1, 2, 3s, all that sort of thing. They're all in here. They just slide in there. They actually normally go in there perfectly, but, and this is where in this little drawer here, this is where I keep like my creative memories letters and whatnot. So they're all in there, all right at hand when I need them. Down there is my creative memories cutting systems. That is a bucket of nightmare. It's where I just keep all my overflow everything. That is my next section to sort out. Ribbon, twine, nightmare. And this is just where I keep my watercolor things and my watercolor palettes, that sort of thing. Yeah. Then here's the dirty little secret. Check this out. That is my nightmare. So turning around, so I'm sitting on my chair, this is what I can see. Okay, so I have a sewing cabinet with my sewing machine that I use for my scrapping. I have a pile of different coloured cards, that's all recollections. That giant pile you see there, they all need to go into albums. Then we have my Cricut. That there is my embroidery floss, etc., and I don't know where else to put it. They are mini albums that I have made over there. Then we have these Rascogs. So these move around, which is perfect for me. This is where I keep all my overflow stuff, really. Stamps, wood veneer. This is where I keep my stencils on this shelf here. I've used them quite a bit the last couple of days, so it's looking really untidy. This one's where I keep all my paints. I keep them on there because if something spills, it's easier to keep clean. There's some photo albums and piece de resistance. That's the next pile of layouts to do a layout share. Yep, I've got that many already. So that will be going up real soon. And the last thing I want to show you, so come around the room, all the way around, it's my husband's car. In here is where I store all my cardstock. So this is how I store it. Not my original idea. I got the idea from Sue Plum. She put up there that she uses a refrigerator storage plastic tub from Kmart for her 12 by 12 layout papers. And she's right. It's absolutely perfect. Holds everything. I keep everything now in its own bag. So if it comes from, so like Simple Stories, that's the whole collection. So if I've got ephemera, it's in that bag. If I've got stickers, it's in that bag. So Paige Evans, and I can just flick through whichever ones that I actually want to use, depending on the day, whether it's Kaisercraft, Cocoa Vanilla, Lemon, Craft. So it literally, and yes, I do have quite the collection. So this is where I store all my actual coloured collections, all over this way. It's Christmas. That is one of these is Kaisercraft. These are my older books, but I still like to pull them out because we all have older stuff. And on this side I have my Creative Memories box, and I have my white cardstock. So this is my just plain cheap white cardstock. This is my American Crafts white textured cardstock. This is the black that I was telling you about the other day that stinks. It's disgusting. And Craft. That is the very first packet of Craft I've ever bought. Sorry, that cut off really quickly there. I just wanted to say thank you very much for watching, and I thought I would get in front of the camera, even though I don't like doing that, and let you guys know that I will be back with 6 videos a week, every week for 2023. I've got a few extra things up my sleeve, and as I release them over the next 2 weeks, you will see what new series I have got in store for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I will chat to you again soon. Bye for now.